state in the union where immigration and customs enforcement does not have work to do when it comes to the monitoring and flow of people and money into the United States. ICE's role has gotten quite a bit of attention over the past few months after a controversial law that was passed in Arizona that gives local law enforcement wide latitude to enforce immigration law. And here to discuss these issues is the top government official at ICE. John Morton is the Assistant Secretary of Homeland Security for U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. It's a real pleasure to have you here. Thank you for being here, Mr. Morton.
My pleasure.
All right, let's first talk about this Arizona law. I know you can't talk about the specifics of the legislation, but practically, it seems as though there's a push across the country for states and localities to take a more active role in enforcing immigration policies. How does that impact your agency?
Well, we have a long history of working very closely with state and local law enforcement, and it's something that we want to continue to do. It's critical to doing our job well. I don't think at the end of the day that individual state immigration enforcement regimes are the right answer. We need a uniform federal law, but one that's aggressive and one that works very closely with the states throughout the country.
So is it your opinion that reform is necessary in some capacity at the federal level?
Absolutely. I'm a big believer in comprehensive immigration reform. The present system doesn't work as well as it should. My view, however, is that reform should start at the federal level and not through 50 individual state laws.
Because we've seen that already in Virginia. Of course, Prince William County's taken a pretty aggressive action with this. The Attorney General has talked that he thinks that Arizona's law makes sense in a lot of respects. How do you handle this movement by these localities versus what your role is at the federal level?
Well, I think you stay focused on very smart, tough immigration enforcement at the federal level, focused on criminal offenders, focused on recent border entrants, focused on people that game the system, and you get out there and you let people know that what we do at ICE is so much more than just simply immigration enforcement against non-criminals. We're out there every day in jails. We're trying to clean up gang problems, child pornographers on the internet, making sure that people understand that the federal enforcement role is quite broad, and we've got to focus on public safety first and foremost.
And has it become a resources issue at that point? Because there is a pretty big problem, and there are major issues, like you mentioned, with human trafficking and child pornography and things of that nature. Is it almost you have to prioritize what the necessity is to go after?
Absolutely. We work in a world of limited resources. We focused first and foremost on criminal offenders. We have our Secure Communities program. We have it here in Virginia. We're in every single jurisdiction in Virginia identifying illegal aliens who might be in our jails, who've committed crimes through their fingerprints, trying to remove them first. We focus on people who've just come across the border. But we've got to find time at the same time to go after human traffickers, to make sure that we're taking a look at people who are on the internet trying to reach out and talk to your daughter or son and try to lure them into something. We do a lot of intellectual property work, counterfeiting of T-shirts and jerseys, fake DVDs, arms traffickers, all very, very important work that we got to focus on every day, in addition to our very important immigration work.
It's become such a hot-button political issue that it seems that not everybody knows exactly where they stand on the issue, and there's so much rhetoric being tossed around. From your perspective as someone that has to practically deal with this issue, how do you deal with all the hot opinions that people have on this topic?
Well, I've been involved in this business for nearly 20 years in enforcement, and you're right, immigration is a very passionate issue. People have strong opinions on it. At the end of the day, I've got to try to get it right on the merits, staying focused, making sure that we focus on public safety first and foremost, and good people, very good people, can have different views on immigration. On the one hand, it's what makes our country great. We're a nation of immigrants, but we're also a nation of laws, and we can't forget that we're best when we try to balance those two things and make sure that at the end of the day, we're trying to keep the streets safe and yet be a welcoming country.
Okay, Director Morton, thank you for being so candid and being here. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right.